Hey, it's Dr. Tony, and I am here from Sorta Excellence Coaching to give you a nudge so that you can improve your accountability and your results. There is a general consensus out here that if you are accountable and you have people who are working on the same goals or in parallel to you, you are 95% more likely to reach your goals or exceed your goals just by being accountable on the outside. Now, that sounds wild because digging in and doing it on your own has been so the norm while you were building your career, while you were going to school, when you were working on that next degree. All of that was putting your head down, getting the work done, and grinding through. And then when they said, hey, you need to get a partner or you need to do a group project, you kind of cringed inside. I don't mean those projects where you are assigned someone. This is a situation where you know you want to work closely with someone who is going to help you elevate yourself, your ideas, and also your vision. Many times we get stuck on just goals and checking off boxes, but expanding that to another level, your new vision to another level, is going to require you to do new things. So, getting uncomfortable might be one of them. Let me know where you are listening from. And also, if you have an accountability partner. And if you don't, why? Let us know why. Why don't you have one? Because I will tell you that all my life, I was isolated and I wish I had someone. And now I have a few, some of which are my coaches for various things. And so that's business, that's my personal growth, that is a mastermind group, etc. You may have several places where you are accountable as well, but what are you working on? Is it the same for each group? And the answer is typically no. But I also see that making a plan, you're 50% more likely to get things done. If you are writing it down, I've heard that 85% more likely, right, to actually implement something new and get it done. And the consistency you have when you have someone saying, okay, so I'll see you on Wednesday, makes you have to chase it down the street. So I ran into a client, many of whom I don't get to meet face to face for a while. And she was so excited. I said, what's going on? You're doing great. I already know that. She said, no, 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 no. Remember years ago when we were in that group, you put me with an accountability partner. I said, yeah, I remember that. You guys, you both had little girls. You both were kind of in the same, phase of your careers where you were thinking about doing something different on the side, not really leave your profession or anything and so on. She's like, yeah, we met. We made sure that at this conference, when I was in the same city and all of that, we made sure that we met and it was amazing. It was just like we were always together, but still it was better to see each other in person. So you don't have to do everything in person. You can do it online, you can do it virtual, but I do recommend that you have someone. Now let's talk about the pitfalls of accountability partners because many people think you can just pull anybody in, and I will tell you that that is absolutely not ideal. Let's talk about what happens when you don't plan this well so that you can start to think about what you're looking for in an accountability partner. Okay. No clarity. Okay. So if somebody is saying, hey, let's just get together and talk about X, Y, or Z, it's easy to get distracted. It's also really important for you to consider doing it with people you don't know as well, who are still as serious and focused as you are. Another example would be, my fitness groups. I will go in there and just be so enthusiastic. I can work out on my own. I don't need anybody to go with me. But when I had a new thing I wanted to do, I hired a coach. I hired a trainer and he was rough, NFL trainer. He was not, he was eye candy, but I mean, he killed me every morning at 5 a.m. 3 days a week. We would meet up and he would kill me. So I had that level of accountability. When I got on my own, because he left, he moved away to Charlotte, and I was like, man, I got my own certification. And then I was in a situation where I could do a lot on my own, but I was sharing my knowledge. Well, guess what that did? It brought a lot of people in my world who were like, hey, can I talk to you about that? Absolutely. Let's talk about it. It's my favorite thing in the world to talk about getting fit and healthy. So You can have different accountability partners for different things, but the pitfall is you might not necessarily want to stick to people you already know. And imagine if it's a family member or a friend, you may not be as focused on the things you're supposed to do. And you also don't want people to be judgmental, pessimistic. Remember the last time you started that, you did this or that. You kind of don't need that in your life. And you don't want to take their commentary personally. You don't want them to call you out on a goal and you take it personally. So having a little separation of family and friends from these projects that are for your career or your fitness goals, etc., would be a really good idea. You might want to consider that your skill sets are similar, and that's another pitfall, is if you guys are similar and you don't really have someone who can see the world a little bit different or has different experiences, you obviously can end up with a limit on what you do there. You also want to make sure that you set a time frame, if you will. Like, a lot of people do not set a time frame. They just kind of casually go along. If you don't have structure, if you don't have a timeline, if you don't have a schedule and everybody is committed, what do you think happens? One person benefits greatly, while perhaps the other person, it ends up being very lopsided. So you are constantly helping one person, but you can't get that from the other side. That's not going to help you grow. And it's also going to make you have to consider moving on. How many people still have friends from elementary school and college and grad school and your 50th job ago? A lot of us don't. And it's because of growth. It's not personal. Do not take these things personally. So, a lot of accountability is about growth over comfort, because comfort zones are one of the biggest things that are going to keep you stuck. So, I want to mention that conflict avoidance is something we've talked about before. If you are avoiding conflict, you're probably avoiding growth. I know you don't want to hear that, but it's absolutely true. We have spoken before. Go back and look. Nice versus kind. Be kind, but nice, that's a little bit performative. And there's usually some sort of, hey, I'll do this for you if you do this for me, or an expectation that something's going to happen. Be kind to your accountability partner, but don't just tell them what they want to hear, because that's defeating the purpose. So you have to think about the fact that there's certain traits you might be looking for, that there is growth that you're looking for. And if you don't focus, what I had said on another live stream, what you focus on grows, right? I'm bringing this all together because a lot of times you might catch me now, but you didn't necessarily catch the other one. I'm telling you, if you were to keep all of these things and keep your notebook right here for you to document these thoughts, feelings, and discoveries about yourself and the things you want to do and how you want to do it, you're going to be successful. It's just a matter of how quickly, right? So what you focus on grows. If you're focused on your goals and you and your accountability partner are walking side by side, your chances of getting there quickly and efficiently are really good. Now, I've told you in the past that rules sometimes equal control. Stability, same thing, can equal just kind of a prison, put you in a little box. In this particular case, there should be a rules of engagement. So in this case, I would say that you definitely want to consider you have to have some sort of best practices in order to make this very beneficial for everyone, and also for you to feel comfortable. How are you going to share all these personal details of your life, which oftentimes you don't expect that to happen, but then life happens while you're making plans, right? So you want to make sure that you are around people who they have the patterns and thinking of behavior where they're not limited in their thinking, and also trying to limit you so that you can continue to adjust, pivot, change your mind, decide something different. A lot of times clients are making decisions where I'm like, oh, I hope it works out. I don't necessarily have to agree with every decision that is made, as long as it makes sense to you, because you're the one who has to live with the outcome. So I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of guidance on this because it works really well when you think of the things we just discussed. However, it doesn't if people are trying to coach you. That's one of the biggest things that I see is that people will try to coach each other. And when I have clients who have both gone through various programs of mine, for example, right now I have a burnout program. If you want to apply, let me know. But you can't coach each other just because you might both have been exposed to the information. There's a reason why I'm a certified executive coach. There's a reason why you have to have some structure, et cetera, around what you do. And I'm certainly not perfect, but you don't want to get yourself caught up in a situation where you're expecting things that are outside of the scope. That's what we call it in medicine, outside the scope of practice. Okay. So let's just break it down one more time. You want good rapport. You want to make sure that you're comfortable being honest with them. You want to make sure that maybe they have an opposing worldview so they can challenge the things you're talking about. You don't want someone who might be too close to you, family members, close friends. You don't want a pessimistic, negative person. You don't want to take it personally when you guys, have conversations. You do need to figure out what your structure is going to be. Without a structure, I don't know what you guys are going to do. It's going to be problematic. And you definitely want it to be a two-way street. And if there's a time limit, maybe revisit it at a later date. But what you don't want to do is stay if you've outgrown that relationship. Most of my clients are growing really rapidly, and it's almost inevitable that suddenly the things that you no longer want to compromise because you're working diligently and someone is asking you and hold you to it, it changes how you think, how you move, and decision making. I will likely do the next live stream on a really good topic, which is how to make decisions a whole lot easier. You guys are hemming and hawing and having analysis paralysis, building list after list of things and ideas and thoughts, but you're not making the decision. So the next thing we're going to talk about is how to make decisions easily. But in the meantime, if you want to talk to me, you want to get on my schedule, if you want to join us in our burnout program, our burnout recovery program, so that you can have built-in accountability every week, you have to come and meet with the coach and then meet with the team, meet with other people and discuss what you're working on. But that consistent period of time over these months and weeks will get you what you want in a much more efficient manner. This idea in your head is not the same as implementation and action steps. And also having someone hold you to what you wrote down is where it's at. drtonymd.com/talk. I am happy to help. We help you with career transition. Some people are doing that. Sometimes we are just trying to make sure that you're taking good care of you in the process. And many times we can't see and get out of our own way. You're in your own way more than you think. So having a thinking partner, which is what accountability often does for us, is going to be uncomfortable, but absolutely the growth that you were looking for. It's Dr. Tony, your board certified physician, certified executive coach, and I look forward to helping you do the things that you said you wanted to do and get where you're going this year. No more, I'm about to do things. Just let's start. Don't wait. Consider this a sign.